Recovery Road, rebuilding after Hurricane Katrina. Residents of the Gulf Coast region seldom thought about the vital transportation systems that connected their communities, brought them everything they needed from food to fuel. All of that changed on August 29, 2005.
With the refineries, the oil production, the port facility here, the Mississippi River feeding 2/3 of the country as far as river commerce and stuff, all that was shut down.
The twin span bridge that connects to East New Orleans with Slidell was completely destroyed. The water uplifted the panels and just set them back down into the water. So we did not have the I-10 crossing at that location.
We had boats up on the levee, barges at the bottom of the river. All the buildings were damaged.
Orleans Parish was inaccessible completely. For several weeks, it was still underwater.
Entire communities were isolated. Bridges and roadways were destroyed or submerged under millions of tons of floodwater, some of which did not recede until 5 weeks after Katrina had left.
We went to our Federal Highway Administration partners and we said, we're going to need some emergency help. I mean, this is just beyond the resources that we have here at the state. And so our Federal Highway Administration staff worked with us to go down and look at all of these roads.
The roads in New Orleans and St. Bernard parishes suffered unprecedented damage, with only 1/3 of them still passable in the immediate aftermath of the storm. 65 months later, many of the bridges have been replaced, interstates and roadways restored. The key has been a strong partnership between Louisiana DOTD and its partners, including the FHWA and a long list of contractors. The team planned and executed the $118 million South Louisiana Submerged Roads program, which has restored 55 major arteries in 3 parishes. The transformation has been dramatic.
The specs that we used in order to design the roadways met the Department of Transportation standards, and it called for a 75% increase in rideability. So that was the first thing. They're much more rideable than they were before. Our intent was also to preserve historic character because it was federally funded.
LA DOT moved quickly in 2009 to keep the rebuilding momentum going, capitalizing on $51 million in Recovery Act funds for the I-10 Causeway Interchange project.
The state had the phase 2 on hold indefinitely until the ERA funding came available, and then they contacted us to come back and dust the plans off, bring them up to the current spec. We had about 90 days to do all that, to get it shovel ready to meet the deadline and get it out here, and it's under construction now.
No one likes thinking about the possibility, but everyone here knows that another hurricane is likely to hit the Gulf Coast region sometime in the future. So every roadway is a vital link to an evacuation route. Among those escape routes is the UEP Long Bridge, one of 3 primary Mississippi River crossings in the greater New Orleans area, now handling 50,000 vehicles a day and dozens of trains. Opened in 1935, the structure is being transformed from a total of 4 narrow lanes to 3 11-foot wide lanes in both directions. The $1.2 billion project is being funded through the bond-financed Transportation Infrastructure Model for Economic Development, or TIME program. 16 projects, some of which have already been completed, received timed funding. Part of the goal is to stimulate economic development.
In the East Bank, there's tons of businesses everywhere, as you see. Actually, there's no more room to grow in the East Bank. The West Bank is really the way to go. One of the big employers here on the West Bank, which is the shipyard, is actually closing in 2013. So a lot of expectations are being put on this project to bring more businesses.
The UEP Long is definitely one of our babies. We're happy to have the contractors that we do have associated with this project on board. They're doing an outstanding job.
Much has changed here, but the memories of the widespread devastation and the loss of life are still vivid and close.
The support that we've received from the local government, the federal government, the citizens, the people in the nation coming to our aid, I feel we've made incredible steps towards the future.
The money that's been sunk into the New Orleans region, in fact the whole Gulf Coast region, I hope the country realizes what has happened here and the lives that are coming back.
Recovery Road, growing longer with each passing day.